woman that is my husband's ex-wife, she is very in the center of everything. And like even still in the family that I'm married into. And I get it. They have 2 children together, which are grown now. And we're very close. Actually, the kids and I are, like his adult children are still very close. Like we're very close to each other. And so that's not a problem at all. My husband's completely like, I'm not interested in this woman. Like, you must know this. So, and I believe it. Like, it's me. It's me and this woman. I don't know what on earth it is. Like, I'm obsessively always looking at her Facebook and see if she posts anything new, whether it's Instagram or whatever. And it's just, it feels ridiculous on my part. And I just wanted to see if there's anything I can do to stop these intrusive thoughts of her.
Yeah, there sure are.
Like, yeah,
so,
and she's like always the epicenter of everything.
Okay, what does that mean? Because she's not the epicenter of your stepkids, and she's not the epicenter. Well, I mean, she's their mom, but she's not the epicenter of your husband. She's not coming over to your house. She's not sending you messages, right? I mean, so is she just the epicenter in your mind?
Maybe, because, like if anything happens in the family, she has to, message my husband, even though he doesn't like that, or, and he doesn't really answer her, or he'll just give like a really short yes or no.
Why does that bother you? They have kids together.
I know. I don't know.
Or I say it bothers you. Like, why? Not that it even bothers you. Like, ugh. But I don't know. And I get that, right? I get that.
Yeah,
but like, it doesn't. It's just not like a. Ugh. It is a. Yeah. It takes over your body.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, John.
Okay, can we go down the rabbit hole?
Sounds insane.
Will you come with me?
Yeah,
okay.
Please.
What are the most? And this is going to be hard, so feel free to say stop at any time. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to know you're driving. Okay. What is? What are the intrusive thoughts that haunt you the most?
Her life, her good life.
No, because you have a good life, right?
Yeah, but we work hard every day, and and we just, not that we just make ends meet, but like we're grinding the grind, every day. And
what makes you think she's not?
She goes to the Bahamas for 4 months in the winter, and then they have this marina up north in this coveted place in Canada, and like she just seems like she's riding the gravy train. But I mean, you're right. I don't know for sure if everything is so gravy or if it just looks that way, right?
Yeah, I heard a rumor that everything you see on Instagram is not true. Right? And everything you see on Facebook is not true.
Right. Yeah, it's true.
Do you ever have intrusive thoughts of your husband and her together?
Never.
Okay.
No.
Do you have intrusive thoughts of them meeting the first time? I heard one woman say this, and I thought it was very savvy. Let me just put it this way. My daughter, when she was like 5 or 6, was crying one night. My wife was like, "Why are you crying?" And she said, "Hank, our older son, will always have had more time with you." And it was an age appropriate thing to be jealous about, right? A 5-year-old's or 4, 5, or 6-year-old's very self-centered, right? The world revolves around them at that age. But it was a very clever way to say that. And I've heard a grown woman say that too, that my husband's longtime college girlfriend, she knows him at a time that I didn't get to know him. Right, or she'll always have 10 years on me, right? Does that drive you crazy?
Maybe that could be, John. That's a good...
Oh, God, I don't want to put more things in your head. You're like, I hadn't thought to worry about that one. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it because here's the deal. If none of that happens, because I'm just going through common things that I hear. I love my new husband, and I just have flashes of him on his honeymoon, what I imagine his honeymoon with his ex is like, right?
Right.
Because I know he's told somebody else that he loves them too. Or he is rolled over after a wild sex with somebody else too. Like, I hear that.
Yeah.
And then I also hear I am jealous that there was these long conversations at a diner about what our future lake house was going to look like one day. And I don't like the fact that my husband, even though he loves me, he would never cheat on me. He's like we're together. We're building our own thing. We've been together for a decade. I just hate the fact that he had that conversation with somebody else too one time. Like, I hear those things. Yeah. But I'm not hearing you say that.
No.
Can I tell you what? Okay, so let's get to the layer beneath the layer. You've created a fictional character out of his wife.
Right.
That person is not real. So let me ask you, what is this fictional character, right? So, like, think of Superman. Think of comic book characters. The reason we love those characters is because they can do things we can't. Superman can fly across the world and so fast he can back up time to save his girlfriend. He can pick up a car, right? Flash can run real fast, right? They can do these things that we can't do, and so it's intriguing to be like, man, if I could do that, I would fill in the blank.
Right.
So you've created this fictional character. She just happens to have a real name and a real face.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is she doing that is reflecting the life that you live, that you feel dead in your own skin, inside your own life?
That perfect, going away for 4 months, because I love the South and I love the beach, and it's like, she's going there for 4 months. I can't even go there for a week.
Why do you have a life that you've co-created with your husband? Y'all can't go to the beach for 1 week.
Yeah.
Why?
I know we've had a few knocks also in our life, but
No. Don't circle the question. Just go right through it. How come? Why do y'all have a life that y'all have co-created where you can't even get away for a week at the beach?
Yeah.
Is it finances? Is it just too expensive?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that's mostly it. Like financial obligations.
Tell me about some of these obligations.
We've got a house and mortgage, and we have this line of credit we got to pay down, which takes precedence, right, over anything else.
What is the line of credit for?
I inherited some money from my mom when she passed a couple of years ago, but she got married again, and unbeknownst to us and my mom, her husband had claim to this money, which we have already used up on our house renovations and things like that. So, and then they went to court, and we're on the hook for everything to pay this man back.
Is your mother still married to him?
Yeah, but she left him. She left him to be with me and to take care of her until she dies. She wasn't happy.
Well, no, because he's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
But did your mom sit by him in court while they sued you?
No, she was already passed at that point.
Your mom had already passed away?
Yeah.
So let me get this right. Your mother, her husband passes away. Oh, no, she passed away.
Yeah, my mom passed away.
She left you some money in the will.
Yeah.
But her husband, who's not your father, claimed it.
Right. Yeah.
And so you get a check from her estate. Y'all spend that money. This ex sues you and said she didn't have the right to will you that money.
Right.
And you'll have to pay it back?
Yeah. And Canada law was like, he has a claim to it. So
to all of it?
And it was 80%. But I had to pay all these lawyer fees too, so we were like really not in good shape.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that really set us back.
Yeah.
Kind of threw my husband in a whirlwind of.
How much money was it?
Frenzy. It was altogether $120,000.
Wow. I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah.
What a mess.
I know. It's
well, and I say this guy is a horrible guy. To be honest with you, it sounds like your mom set you guys up to fail.
Yeah.
I don't know that.
I mean, We should have been more proactive and revisited the will after she married this person, right?
Yeah.
But we thought that because she made it out to solely me, it's like, okay, it's ironclad, stamp on it, everything's good. So, it was ignorance on our part, really.
All right, so I won't cast judgment on him or anybody. We'll just say this is just one of those situations that just stinks. It is what it is, what it is.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So what do y'all do for a living?
Well, I'm a over-the-road driver, and so is my husband, so we don't see each other all week.
Okay.
So we drive.
What is this a life you like living?
I used to love it. I'm starting to kind of feel maybe not as happy about it. And maybe that is part of the part that's doing this whole thing with this woman, the ex. She has that great life, and I'm sitting here.
Let me just say,
you know what I mean?
She doesn't.
Right.
She's got some cool things that she gets to do because she's got resources. Maybe she remarried well, or she's got family money or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
But I promise you, she's got problems too. She gets hemorrhoids too. She gets real bad gas too.
Right.
Right? I mean, she's got her life also.
Yes.
I want you to consider.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
I'm 58.
58.
Yeah.
Okay. You're getting to the end of the third quarter.
Right.
Of your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're midway through the third quarter. We'll be generous.
Mm-hmm.
I want you and your husband to sit down and ask yourselves for the last quarter and a half of our life.
Right.
What do we want this thing to look like?
Mm-hmm.
And let's be really honest about it. And by the way, I live in Nashville, Tennessee, where tons of people come here to be songwriters and drummers and guitarists and bass players, and they're amazing. And then life changes. And there's always a challenge because they say, like, I used to really love this life. I just don't love it anymore. And they almost feel ungrateful because it finally happens, right? They finally make it, quote unquote. And then they have the third kid. And they're like, I really just want to be with my kids. I don't want to go on the road, right? And it feels this tension. Can I just tell you, you got permission to do whatever it is you want to do.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to exhale and say, hey, I've only got so many more summers to go to the beach. That's going to be part of our life now.
Yes.
But that means you can't YOLO, right? You can't just be a goofball about it. That means you got math. And so maybe we're going to sell our house and move to a smaller house. Because I'd rather go to the beach and live a fun, exciting, like have a little bit more life in my skin than work as a slave to a mortgage company.
Right. Exactly.
Right? Maybe this one terrible debt, let's just work like crazy. Hey, husband, we're going to go nuts for one calendar year and get this thing paid off. We're going to work every single day, every weekend. We're going to take extra jobs. We're going to work on the side. We're going to take extra load. Like, we're going to just work bananas. BANANAS.
Right.
And then for my 59th birthday, I want to not owe this debt anymore.
Right. Yeah. I know. And that's a great plan. And I said to my husband, let's just downsize. We don't need this big house. Like, I know we have 4 kids between the two of us.
But they're grown, right?
They're adults. Yeah, they're
grown.
adults. They come over for, a weekend.
Yeah.
But we don't need all that room. Like, we can make do with something smaller.
How much equity do you have in your house?
You mean like if we sold it?
If you sold it, how much? How big of a check would they write you?
Probably about $500,000.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Can we just exhale for a second? If you sold that and bought a condo for $350,000,
right,
for $400,000, let's say $350,000 after fees.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a super nice condo in Ontario. I know that, but it will be yours. No one can take it. And then you write a check to this guy, and he's off your back forever.
Yeah.
And then you'll look at each other and say, what do we want to do now? Because we can do anything.
Right. Exactly. And I would, jump on that, John. I would.
Okay. But here's where most people go sideways. They go to their significant other, they go to their romantic partner, and they start piecemealing it together. Issue by issue. I want to sell the house. I want to downsize. I want a different car. I want to stop driving this car. I want to sell this car. I want to get this loan paid off. And here, it sounds like somebody's nagging them to death.
Right.
That's different than, hey, we have a quarter and a half of our life left. I want to go wheels off. And here's what's going to happen for that to take place. And if you look at your husband and say, I want to have peace in this home so I can love you recklessly and insane until I die.
Right.
I got to get out of this truck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be driving on these icy roads at 59 years old.
Right.
I don't need to be changing a tire in the middle of winter at 59 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So,
yeah.
Husband, let's sell this house. Let's buy a condo. Not even a super nice one, just one that's going to be great. The kids will be fine.
Yeah.
Let's pay this guy off. Let's owe nobody anything. And then we can decide what kind of job we want to have.
Right.
Now you're solving for freedom. And then you know what? Who cares about this fictional character?
Right. Exactly.
All right. I want to build in a couple of other boundaries for you, okay?
Yeah.
Right after you get off this call. Okay, you've been with me for a long time. You've been with me since the very beginning, right?
Yes.
All right.
100%.
Say, I promise I'm going to do what you ask.
I promise I'm going to do what you ask.
Just for 30 days.
Okay. 30 days.
As soon as we get off this, I want you to block her on Facebook. I want you to block her on social media.
Okay.
So you can't see her.
That.
You can't go.
Yes.
And I want you to tell your husband, hey, I've blocked her from everything. I'm not going to go look at what she's doing. I'm not going to see what she's doing. I'm not going to Google her, anything. If she reaches out to you for a family issue, unless something's happening to our kids and I need to know, I don't want to know about it. I don't need to know.
Right. Okay.
What I'm choosing to do, I'm not choosing to not be jealous of her. I'm choosing to be fully alive in my own body, in my own marriage, in my own house.
Yes.
And I'm going to stop outsourcing that to Marvel character that I've created.
Yeah.
It just happens to look a lot like your ex-wife.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay?
Yeah.
And keep your promise to yourself for 30 days. I could care less what she's doing. I'm going to spend that energy building the life that I want to live.
Yes.
So maybe you're going through and looking at condos.
Mm-hmm.
You're going through and interviewing real estate agents.
Mm-hmm.
You and your husband are trying to figure out how, I know Canada takes 95% of your paycheck for taxes, but what kind of job could we do that's not driving that I could get into right now, right? Like, what does that world look like? And let's begin spending our energy on living. We're not going to outsource it to some fictional fantasy character that we've created. We're going to start living our life. And there's some reality to it. So we got to pay these debts off. We're going to sell the house. It's been fun. It's been great. It's where we raised our kids. And now we're going to go to something that we can manage for the last 25 or 30 or 40 years of our life. We can manage because we want to spend more time on the road seeing our grandkids. We want to take all that driving experience and drive all the way to Gulf Shores in Alabama and go to the beach. Just a good old-fashioned American beach. We're going to go all the way down. Or you can go to Lake Michigan, right? Or whatever. But we're going to start living the life that we want to live.